All right, I think that's it for Twitter then. So chat, let's do some reaction because I am way too lazy to play game and I am way too tired. So that's a 15 minutes video that I low key wanna watch. Predatory Gacha game monetization tactics tier list. Fucking tier list, by the way. Let's go. Watching slop. So yeah, if you wanna go for sleep, feel free to do it because this is gonna get very boring. Might get very boring.
Not your friend.
True.
Games is not your friend.
True.
Hypergriff is not your friend.
True.
Project Moon is not your friend.
Okay, true.
Gaming is a business. It has always been a business. Ever
True.
since the birth of arcades all the way to the rise of mobile gaming, companies have always been a
Video?
business. Ever since the birth of arcades all the way to the...
Oh my god, bro. Farmville. I remember, man, back in my days, I hacked this game. I got so much. I'm so rich, bro. Oh my god.
Rise of mobile gaming, companies have always used gaming as a medium for artistic expression, as well as profit. While there are, in my opinion, honorable ways to monetize a game, there are also some not so honorable ways. Gacha games, and by extension mobile games, have had a decade of growth at this point, with some even rivaling the quality of what you'd see on a console platform. Have had a decade of growth at this point, with some even...
Is that Anata?
Rivaling the...
Look like it. I thought it was Afo though, because the guy looked a bit like the guy, but no, it doesn't.
Quality of what you'd see on a console platform.
I think I already watched the video. Then fuck you, buddy. I haven't yet. So see
platform. At the same time, the tactics in which these games employ to ultimately retain and monetize you as a user have also been tried and perfected. From reinforcing habit...
Is that fucking honkai pack bird? Hey.
Formation with daily logins to proprietary currency obfuscating...
I don't remember when and where. Dude, this shit was like... last week, buddy. This shit was last week, bro. It was last fucking week. It's not long ago, boys. It was not long ago.
Game items to fear missing out elements, creating artificial urgency. Today, I want to go over every single technique I've found over the years I've played gacha games, how they psychologically affect you, and more importantly, how you can avoid them.
Bro.
I'm going to be coming up with a list of 3 tiers of what I believe to be the practices ranked from least to most predatory. I'll be breaking down what these practices are and place them somewhere on the list. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you'll be able to understand exactly how gacha monetization works.
I think that might be a video this guy make. That just might be a bit familiar to it. Hold on. I think I watched this like last year. A video was so familiar though. It was so familiar to this. Something about Bruhh or Genshin or something. What is this one? No. What is this?
One does right then.
Yeah, it might be this. Yeah, it might be this video. That's why it sounds. Oh yeah, this video. That's why it sounds so familiar. 1 year ago, by the way. Oh my fucking god. Oh, I'm old.
And how to better moderate yourself as a player. So let's begin. Before we can go over the predatory practices, I think it's worthwhile to explain what the gacha model is and what I think of it. Now, I personally enjoy playing gacha games. I think it absolutely still has the potential to create artistry and create a vibrant story and community around it. At its core, gacha games are able to build an ever-growing universe while having the player feeling involved in the plot as it unravels in real time. Alongside the extremely accessible nature of being played on your phone.
Is it what? Okay, let me guess. Go Frontline 2.
The barrier of entry is low enough that the game can create a casual and inclusive atmosphere where pretty much everyone can get into. I personally got into Fate Grand Order as one of my first gacha games, and its high-quality story was something that kept me awake on the subway back when I was still commuting to university. This would be the best argument I can come up with where I believe the gacha model can be justified. However, reality is often not that simple.
Really?
In a traditional video game, you pay the upfront fee of $60, then you get the entire game for you to do as you please. You might not get any updates for it, but the game includes the full experience, and the developer has no reason to place any player retention tactics and further ways to monetize.
I mean, to be fair, DLC, right?
maybe paid DLCs down the line.
I mean, yeah, DLC, yeah.
When the business model revolves around gacha, the main goals of the developer changes. Because the gacha games are expected to be free to download, there has to be some way to monetize and retain its users across an indefinite period of time. After all, I've talked about this before, but user retention is extremely important for online businesses. They're often categorized as D1, D7, and D30 retention. This refers to Day 1, Day 7, and Day 30 respectively. According to this Harvard Business article, increasing customer retention rates by even 5% can increase profits by 25% to 95%.
What the fuck?
I believe there are acceptable ways to retain and monetize users in ways that are morally
they just retain them.
Corrupt.
I think
However,
I think he did make a video about that one. Yeah, the ladies and the how they kept you retain. Alright, give you playing the game.
You define as predatory is ultimately subjective. There are things I don't think are predatory, and some that I find extremely so. This will be reflected in the tier list, so let's break it down. The first category will be called mild. These are the practices I think can still be argued as predatory, but I ultimately don't really have a problem if some of them are in the game, which I'll explain why when I get to it. The second tier is what I call the risky category. These are the tactics that were implemented on the conscious decision from the developers that didn't need to be there, and are the very definition of what I think is predatory. Last, there are two items in the deep end tier. These are what I think to be the worst of the worst, and things that I actively campaign against in my reviews that should be minimized as much as possible, and ones that actively hurt my enjoyment of a game. They're quite broad subjects, so I guess you just have to wait and see. This is how I would subjectively categorize predatory practices in gacha games, so let's dive into the list. We'll start off with the mild tier, with something that's pretty harmless if you ask me.
Honkai?
Login bonuses and daily missions. These are usually menial tasks that you can knock out in like 5 minutes.
I thought it's like going deep into the stuff.
It's a light way to incentivize regular logins to a game.
I mean, yeah, that's
By
fine.
themselves, I don't really have a problem with these. There are cases where the best rewards are locked behind the final days of a login streak, and I think there's absolutely something that can be said about that. Overall, login bonuses are pretty tame. The stamina system is yet another player retention method that's pretty much baked into every gacha game. There are many ways to implement this. Some games
you know what? I think the stamina thing, right? It's like like stamina things like so important early game, and then it just like get less and less important as time gone now. Like imagine yourself back into like your first day of gacha game. Example starrail. Like you have to like grind for boss material. I don't think relic though, but tracer stuff, and then some money as well, XP stuff, and then as time goes on, right? You just usually get like a lot of those by just doing dailies, XP book, relic stuff as well from just dailies, and then you just never have like, and then you don't have a reason why to use stamina, right? Just use it for like dailies and stuff. Like it's just not as important as like the early game, the end game. The stamina thing is like so worthless. For like WoW as well, WoW fucking spent 2 in 1 day, no 2 in 1 turn, right? You do the 220 stamina cost echo run, and boom, you're done. Like 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you're done, right? Honkai Pipe, 30 seconds, you're done. Spam all the main expedition. Genshin not sure. Uma is like pretty weird because his stamina is like tied to the host race, and a host run, the whole career run took you like 30 minutes, so it's still gonna be important, and it took long as well. So yeah.
Max out your stamina reserve in less than 24 hours to encourage 2 logins in a single day, and some that don't. Regardless of how it's done, the stamina system represents a major source of progression for your account. The daily missions and spending stamina usually are the 2 biggest sources to level up your account. They give a ton of player XP relative to all other repeatable activities in the game. This is, of course, habit formation
the
at
level,
its
just like
you want
the
to
XP you get
in a gacha game,
are so small
simply do
that
your
it
dailies and
doesn't matter at
spend
all.
stamina. You can exchange stamina.
It's like Genshin, no? Like from level, like I think it's sort of like 55 to get to 60. It would took you like 2 years or something. So like what the fuck? Like the XP exponential rise is insane in Genshin.
For in-game materials, but obviously at a controlled rate.
Oh, and
wouldn't it be much more player-friendly to just erase the system and let players farm something for as much as they want? Yes, Yes, it would. When there's a stamina system, you don't get to play at your own pace. You get to play at the pace in which the developers let you. I personally don't have a problem with battle passes and its premium paid track. Battle passes have been normalized in a lot of games across many genres.
But do you hate it when like battle pass got generalized? The first one is like from Fortnite, which give you what free skin and some stuff and cosmetics, right? And I think for gacha, it's like skin plus some trace, some materials for catchers and weapon and stuff, and like some pools as well. So like, who do you prefer? Pure cosmetic battle pass or a battle pass where it give you, where it make like, where it's like what? It's true. I mean, to be fair, it's like fucking gacha. It's like pay to win anyway. But like, it gives way more value than number one. And I don't think gacha game can survive on cosmetic battle pass. So there might be, but like, I don't think most people are gonna buy that. Though if they actually make skin in gacha game, then yeah, it might sell. But for every gacha game right now, for every gacha game, it's just like free pools, free material and stuff, right? Which just feel so worthless.
With paid players having accelerated progression through additional activities. In terms of additional purchases, it's in my opinion one of the least insidious ways to monetize and retain users. Alongside daily logins, I mostly don't have a problem with these tactics by themselves. There's a very big caveat I'll mention.
I think that it's just a big problem. Why? The battle pass give you like so much edge over a free-to-play player. Now that's when it's gonna become a problem. But normally I don't think it does.
Later, but you'll just have to wait and see. You may have noticed that some in-game events have a weird time gate on what portions of the event are unlocked,
true, very true.
usually releasing a few levels every few
true.
days. What about why is there a weekly cap on how
I
many
hate
times
this
you
shit,
can farm
man.
a boss
I hate this
drop?
shit.
Wouldn't it be better if that cap wasn't there? You'd be absolutely correct. All of the mentioned tactics so far aren't necessarily for monetizing you, but rather for player retention. It's vitally important for an always online game to have a steady player base. Even if you're free to play, you're still a valuable asset to the company. You may contribute to the community in some way and spread the word to newcomers. Besides, as long as you remain a player, there's always the opportunity that you'll decide to spend money in the future. The reason I don't really have a problem with the tactics mentioned so far is that it's understandable some of them are in place in order to retain players.
Camellia?
Here's my challenge.
What is this? Discover all new quests and blah, blah, blah. Meet resident insurance. Can you aspire reward in the assurance? Oh, okay. I thought they're getting a free Camellia, by the way.
Some of them are in place in order to retain players. Here's my challenge to you. For tomorrow, just don't log in to any of the gacha games you play. That's it. It's kind of like skipping class. Once you do it once, then you realize that
it's like the same point
you
he
can
makes.
just keep doing it. When you wake up in the morning, sit at your phone or computer and realize that you can just keep doing it.
That is a 1 star on speed, 1 star on two 1 star on speed, 2 stars on power, and 1 star on wit. What is it? Influence on sprint? Are you fucking real?
When you wake up in the morning,
I mean, to be fair, I said right. Team rank D anyway, so pretty hot ass. It doesn't look good though. I mean, the this one and the Tachyon one is pretty good. This one is, I don't think it's good. It's like questionable. And then these two are pretty
at your phone or computer and realize that you can do whatever you want without needing to bother with dailies or login and bonuses.
Not even a oh my god, this is pretty ass the whole day.
It'll feel like a weight that has been lifted from your shoulder. Power creep and feature creep. These specifically refer to newer release characters having better stats and complex kits. Balancing this factor is quite difficult. As a gacha game, it needs to release new characters to entice new and existing players to stick around. And the game must find some way to market or innovate on the game's existing mechanics. Aside from aesthetics, a game might absolutely try to sell a character by making their damage numbers bigger. That might work out in the short term, but there are long-term ramifications for this. If everyone is godlike, then no one is. A character can only be considered powerful when compared to something not so powerful. feature creep can actually be even more insidious than power creep. As
Wait,
the
I
game
don't know what
expands and
feature creep even
releases
is.
more modes and content, there's going to be more menus to go through, more materials to collect, and currencies to keep track of. As a longtime player, you would have been able to adapt to the new changes bit by bit. However, a newcomer is suddenly hit with all these things at once, which may cause
so feature creep is like a lot of UI, I'm guessing, right? Which is, yeah, fair. I think it's like big on like some mobile, well, like what, RPG game or something, where the UI are very clustered, insanely clustered. But yeah, for gacha game, is it gacha game? This problem? I don't think so, right? Genshin Honkai Impact might be. There's like fucking 15 different buttons on the UI when you come in. Wuwa, I don't think so. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I don't think gacha game though. But like some mobile, like dog shit mobile game might be.
some confusion on how to navigate the game. Just compare the complexity of character kits from ones that were released at launch and those a few years later.
I mean,
Your
yeah, true.
tolerance of power creep
That's
and
true.
feature
That's
creep
true.
will differ
Like
person to
imagine
person.
reading Cash-Rice Kid
However, I
compared
don't
to
really
like
have a problem with these, as these are natural
compared to
consequences
what
of the
Ratio
game
Kid or
showing
something.
its age.
Like yeah.
It's unavoidable and at times even unintentional by the developers. I'm gonna throw this one in the mild category, and because I kind of want to talk about it. Paid cosmetics. The gaming industry has more or less accepted and normalized paid cosmetics in-game. Some of these can cost $20, and that's just kind of the reality of things.
I mean, yeah.
I don't have a problem with these, regardless of how much it's priced.
Yeah, I don't even care though. It's just cosmetic. It doesn't matter.
Highly subjective. How much do you think a skin like this is worth?
Yeah.
Sellers want to sell it at the highest they can sell it for.
Like there's some skin costs $5, $20. Honkai Pack 1, that's like the pyramid skin. Whereas if you do it, if you raw dogging it, like just spending money, it would cost you like 100 something bucks. So like it's just a range of like a free, or it would cost you a house. You know, like I know it doesn't matter anyway.
Want to buy it for the lowest.
So it isn't like affect the game as well, right?
There's the age-old argument
like the
that
UI
cosmetics
or
isn't
something.
gameplay.
Doesn't
Except
matter.
what if you literally play the game in order to look the coolest? The one thing about paid
Yeah,
cosmetics is that it has to be more
It's like
desirable
what,
than the
just
base
Fortnite
version,
or like
meaning that there's
any
now
of the
an
Battle Royale
incentive to
game.
purposely design the base version of something.
Well, the
in
skin
an
might matter,
inferior
but
way
in
and sell
the end,
cosmetics
it doesn't
as
matter.
extra.
It just make you.
It just falls on you
know,
whether you're okay with paying
might be
money to
happier.
buy the cosmetics. Now we move on to the risky tier. This tier lies in all the tactics that fit my very definition of predatory. Let me start by ripping off a band-aid. Any gacha system, regardless of how it's implemented, is predatory.
That's true.
There is no wiggle
yeah, in
room
the
for
end,
me
it's
on the
like
subject. If you can
he's
pay
forced
real
you to
money
spend anyway,
obtain
right?
gacha currency, it fits here. I don't care how generous its poll income is. I don't care if it has a separate weapon banner or it has incredibly high drop rates. By nature, there's no conceivable way I can agree that a gacha system.
I mean, a
is
gacha
not
is a gacha, no?
But
Gambling
let's
is gambling
entertain
anyway.
some edge cases. One of my most beloved gacha games of all time is Limbus Company. I put in a lot of hours into it, and I like it a lot. This game has the dispense mechanic, where after the most recent character has been on a raid-up banner, then you can spend farmable shards to just get them from the menu, allowing you to bypass the gacha entirely. You get the shards by doing daily missions and grinding the roguelike mode. You'll still need 400 of it, and buying the premium battle pass does accelerate the rate that you get it. But still, allowing players to do this is pretty insane. Does that mean that Limbus Company's gacha system is not predatory? No, I disagree. This is a very slippery slope to go down.
Like,
you know the saying,
or starrail, or anything, yeah.
Let's
it's like,
that the
you can get the old character for free, but still, spending money is spending money.
What if a new developer sees this and thinks, if the players don't think it's predatory, then maybe we can do something similar. However, one change they made in their game is that instead of
I look at
to get the character,
why in this video gonna was like start with looking, by the way.
Think that's okay?
That what phone can tell
the company takes a look,
and then
does
phone
the same in their game, but the shard requirement is now 1,200. Well,
might be like 3 months ago or something.
For the shards to bypass the gacha, it's not predatory.
When this being
so
started production.
Problem? As you can see, as soon as you start entertaining the idea that gacha is not predatory, it opens up a lot of room for developers to get sneaky and try skirting around the definition. And that's why I can't be budged on the subject. I will continue to enjoy Limbus Company, however, at its core, it's classified as a gacha game, and that makes it predatory. The next one is straightforward. I call it the sunk cost offer. You may have noticed that in pretty much every mobile game, there is an extremely high value pack you can buy for as little as $1 for new players. You might think, well, it's just a harmless offer for some ice breaking. It's a good gesture for new players to get a head start. I'd be dumb to
What
turn
is it
down.
like the starter
it looks
pack or
so
some
much better
shit?
than in comparison to the other purchases. Now, this may
Yeah,
seem
it is like
harmless on the
the
surface,
starter
but
pack.
there's a
I
very
see.
specific reason why it's there. Directly tied to the idea of sunk cost fallacy, this is meant to
Like,
exploit
I really
the
imagine
human
you would buy
cognitive
the
bias of
$1
loss
pack,
aversion.
and then you
Studies have
keep
found that
playing
players who
since you've
spend
always spent money
even if it's
so
little as
much more
$1,
since
are
the
more
game,
likely
right?
to make another
Holy
purchase
shit.
in the future. If you
$1
spend any
is
money,
$1.
you're now
It matters.
invested. I already spent $1, why not $5 more? If I
Bro.
stop now, that'll be a waste of the $1 I spent.
Bro,
I played a lot of
$1
gacha
is
games where I
$1
did
chat.
buy the $1 pack, and then after stopped playing in a week. I basically thought of the situation like this. I went into the store, browsed around, bought a pack of gum for $1, and now I'm walking back out. You can walk out at any time if you think the game is not worth playing.
True.
As long as you understand why the sunk cost offer is there, you'll be able to avoid this psychological trap.
Okay, you know what? It's like eating a food, right? Like you bought a chicken for $5, and then the chicken tastes shit, and so you have two choices: finish the chicken, or you just don't eat it at all, right? Or might as well buy new food. Might be a bad metaphor, but basically it's like if you play a game, if you put $1 in a game, and it isn't, and it's not good, then you all have a chance to leave the game, right, or stop playing it. Surfing for chicken. If you pay $5 for a chicken and it doesn't taste good, then might as well stop eating it, right? Since you're not enjoying, so why do it? So yeah.
I've also noticed that a lot of games have a 3 daily or weekly pack sitting in the cash shop for you to collect, luring you in with that delicious red dot. The reason why games do this is to increase your exposure to the cash shop. It's natural to have the mindset that since you're in an environment where you're expected to buy something, then you have a higher chance of buying something. This ties in with
sometimes
the
you just
mere
feel like,
exposure
whatever,
effect
it's just
in
annoying.
psychology. By simply increasing one's exposure to something, it increases their preference for it. The free pack is meant to make you feel more familiar with the UI and layout of the cash shop. In certain games, you even have to scroll down the menu
it's just sometimes
to see
it's
the
just
free
very
pack
annoying.
past all the
Like,
other
genuinely
paid
annoying.
offers. And I assure you, this is also intentional. In terms of predatory practices, I think this one falls on the less egregious side. Besides, you can even make the argument that it's good that these packs are there. After all, you're still getting some bonus goodies every day.
I guess the value we're getting
you absolutely
from spending
should take the free
$1
pack.
instead of $5.
There's no reason not to. Me though, I just take my freebies and get out of there in 5 seconds.
True.
Another case where as long as you know why it's there, you'll be able to understand things better.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big one. Every gacha game these days has their own premium proprietary currency that you collect in
Oh, the
order to
bonus
pull more
thing?
on the gacha.
Oh yeah,
However,
that shit
there's
is kind of
no way
bad.
to directly buy
Oh, yeah.
more pulls with real money. Instead, you have to buy the currency first, then convert
Oh,
that
is
into
this
pulls.
fucking virtual
Bonus
currency?
points if the currency
Okay, it
converts
is
to
virtual
gacha
currency.
tokens at an uneven ratio. The effects of this is quite obvious. The proprietary currency is meant to obfuscate the actual cost of in-game items. It's an extra step, more mental gymnastics to figure out if buying something is worth it. In fact, the FTC recently cracked down on Genshin's practices for this exact reason.
Like, you love how they'll do it on Genshin, but not any other gacha game, right? Starrail have none, but fucking Ogna have none, right? Uma have none as well. Like, damn, that's crazy, bro. Only Genshin, bro. That's crazy.
Reveals the ugly.
Like, I think they do it for to make a thread where if you don't follow this, if Genshin fell, then all the gacha down might also fell down. But like, it's only Genshin for now, and it's been a few months, right? So he might as well, like, why?
Truth that when you see the result of this
It's what,
practice
9
being
months
stripped
already?
away,
Holy.
how likely would you spend for a 10 pull when you can see that pressing the button costs $20? Proprietary currency serves one other purpose. In some games' cash shops, you may have seen something like this, where the game claims to be running a big sale on select items.
Oh yeah,
but in reality,
like
it is the actual price
monthly
just having a
reset,
fake markup.
where it said like
Having
you
fake
put it
discounts
5%
with
discount
non-existent original
for how
prices
long
like
now,
this
bro?
is actually
How long
illegal in a
now?
lot of countries.
How long
in
the
order to
discount
protect
is now?
consumers from deceptive practices. However, if you switch that real dollar amount to the proprietary currency, that becomes a loophole in these regulations. The developers can simply say, look, it's priced in in-game currency, not in real-life dollars, which is exactly something Infinity Nikki has done in a past update. This next topic has some slight ties to proprietary currency, but it puts its own spin on it. Why is it that the amount of gacha currency needed to pull once is a weird amount
like
that's always slightly uneven?
Yeah, it's not
Genshin's
exact same.
160, Arknight's 600, Reverse 1999 with 180, Mekarashi with 88, or Honkai
88?
Impact with 280. I assure you, these are not selected at random. What abusive pricing does is that it's again meant to throw off your calculations and how much you need to budget in order to plan your pulls. Let's say that every gacha game came to an agreement and unanimously decided to switch the number of currency needed per pull to 100, a nice even number. Now, if I ask you, quick, how many Primo Gens do you need for 9 pulls? Easy, 900. What about 26? 2,600.
I am getting a deja vu now. What the fuck?
But if we were to change it back to 160, things are suddenly...
What, is it not? I think it's 600, right? Yeah, it's 600. So 10 is 6,000. And then the multiple of 16, yeah? I mean, math is hard, but like, yeah.
Not so simple. Now, you can still pull up a calculator and get the answers that way, but this pricing scheme serves as an artificial barrier to make you go through one more mental obstacle to get the results you want. Abusive pricing can also extend to the aforementioned proprietary currency. Let's travel back to 2023, back when I still played Genshin. Say that I wanted to buy the skin for Ayaka. When discounted, this went on sale for 1,350 Genesis crystals. I want to ask, how much should a player expect to pay to buy the skin in real-life dollars? Well, taking a glance at the top-up shop, you'll notice that there's no one combination of packs that perfectly matches the amount needed. It's always a bit over or not enough. Besides, what if a player didn't have the first top-up bonus? What if a player already bought a couple rounds of the monthly pass and already has some crystals saved up? Notice just how hard it is to pinpoint how much a player is expected to pay, as their situation depends on certain other factors. Even after you bought the skin, you're gonna have some crystals left over in your inventory. While you can convert it to primos at a 1-to-1 ratio, you can't convert it back. So if you're someone that has some idea of long-term planning, then you likely just keep the remaining Genesis crystals there in case you need it in the future. So you just leave it there in weird unspendable amounts. When the time comes when you do need to buy more, then that messes with the total amount needed all over again. I want to finish off the risky tier with a short story.
I can't believe how much skin there are in Zenless in case of fucking Genshin. Like, holy, like every one purchase a skin in Zenless, but fucking Genshin is like none. And it's so as well.
A while back, I was looking to buy a new pair of sneakers. This led me down to a rabbit hole looking at lots of brands and reviews. And eventually, out of curiosity...
Yo, who just subscribed? Yo, thanks Alice for the follow. Hope you enjoy watching the reaction, Andy.
I looked up the high-end sneaker lineups like the Travis Scott Air Jordans. I was shocked just how much a pair cost. I thought, who in their right mind would spend thousands of dollars on a pair of sneakers? What a waste of money. Turns out, if a sneaker collecting enthusiast saw it, they would go, well, yeah, you want the high-end sneakers with memorabilia sentiments or high performance, you gotta pay up.
No way.
This is just normal for a sneaker of this caliber.
No way a collab sneaker gonna have that much, gonna have that high quality. It's like a $500 one, like no shot. I think the reason why it's that high because due to what? Branding and collab, and that's it. Like you find an exact same pair for cheaper, I think the qualities might as well be the same.
When I started playing gacha games in a very similar fashion, I was shocked by how much getting a single rare character would cost if you purely spend money on the top-up packs.
Bro.
Turns out, years later, I became accustomed to it. It's now a normal expectation that if you buy the top-up packs in a gacha game to pull for a new character, you should be expected to spend upwards of $100 or $200. Someone unfamiliar with gacha games might argue the same thing I did when I looked up sneakers. Who in their right mind would spend hundreds of dollars for a virtual character in a video game? What a waste of money. In which someone like me would respond, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was stupid once and I locked in, so now it's very stupid.
It's been like this since the birth of gacha games all the way back in the...
I mean, it's just simply like a gacha addict now.
Mid-2010s. I guess it does seem kinda unreasonable, except this is just how things are. This is completely normal. It's also the result of price gouging that the lower price packs look better in comparison. I think most rational players would see buying the top-up packs as the very last resort after they've exhausted all other options. There was a $45 pack in Girls Frontline 2 that let you select from a pool of limited dolls and their signature weapon. That's an insane offer. You be going
However, it's fictional. Is that fucking Suomi? Wasn't Suomi like last year?
$100 to $300 if you whale for them instead. What about this $30 pack in Reverse 1999? Now, let me be clear about something. I don't have a problem with whaling in a video game. However, a fine line that I
Nope.
draw is that you must be aware of how much you're spending at all times.
That's true.
The moment you lose track how much you spend is when you start blurring the lines between
Chat,
the fair
welcome.
purchase
This
and
is called
gambling.
Gacha addiction.
So now we end up in the deep end. There are only 2 entries in this category, but they're quite broad subjects. So we'll start with FOMO, or fear of missing out.
Oh, what, like
I
limited
absolutely
event?
despise FOMO elements in
collab?
video games. Except FOMO can take form in so many ways that you kind of
Oh
get
yeah,
lost.
the event stuff.
The
Yeah, it's
basic
like kind of
concept
nice.
is that the game is creating artificial
yeah.
scarcity by making certain items or content time limited with no predictable period where they'll come back.
I mean,
if
service
at all.
banner though.
Here
The
are
banner
sources that I
also
consider
limited,
to be the
and
main
you
aspects
have
of
no
FOMO
idea when
and
the
how
banner
they
come up.
hurt my
Everyone.
experience with a
So it's
gacha
also
game.
counts for more.
The first is flash sales. These pop-ups
Like
will
also
lure
like
you with a
monthly
limited
reset
time
as
deal that
well.
usually expires really fast.
Like you don't
better
buy
get
this
it now,
thing
or
within
it
the
might
month.
disappear
It's
forever.
time reset and
This
you're gonna waste
plays on a
money.
fake sense of urgency to nudge you to make a
I
purchase.
mean, yeah, so the bundle as well.
Remember when I talked about daily logins and battle passes that by themselves I don't have a problem with? Well, if we were to include a limited time item in said login or battle passes, then that does
Wait,
become
do you
an issue
count?
for me.
Okay, now do you count this for an RPG game? Why I know there's some RPG game have like limited item per player. Does it matter though? Gacha monetization tactics. So is it on a battle pass? Why you have a limited item? But it's not free to play. I don't know about this.
Limited items can come in a variety of ways, such as a player profile border, an avatar, a player skin,
I mean,
or
this is the same
special
for like
plaque to display
thing,
on your
no?
profile. The question becomes, how much do you care about this thing?
I mean,
If you don't
yeah.
care about cosmetic items and player profile add-ons, then this sort of thing won't phase you. However, if you can't get over just how these
Is that
items
fucking
may never be available again,
what's her name again? I saw so much porn of her, man. Fucking hell. Something. It's not Picasso, is it? No. Is it an artist? I'm pretty sure she's an artist. It's an artist. It's something I forgot.
in the future, that might just cause you to pay extra attention to your logins or feel obligated to
I think
participate in
the
these
one that makes
events.
Mona
Let's
Lisa,
talk
right?
about limited time gacha
Might be the
characters
one.
next. It's a natural assumption that once a limited
Oh, let me see
character
the banner.
banner about limited
This is Camellia and. Oh yeah, that was way long ago. Holy shit, it's so long ago.
time gacha characters
Oh my gosh.
next. It's a natural assumption that once a limited character
Insane
banner
long
ends,
ago.
then you have to wait for an indefinite
Intelligent,
amount
by the
of
way.
time before you will have the opportunity to get them again. How many limited characters and how often
no,
they
6
release
hour.
is
I don't know
completely
where
up
it's
to the
from.
discretion of the
You have no idea what bundle is from. No idea.
developer. I will say there are games where limited characters become part
I
of the
might know the
center
6
pool
hour
after a
though.
while. So even
Not
if
the
they
first
won't be
one.
available, you can still possibly get them when a non-raid up spooks you. There's also the matter of
Was from you? Wait. So from you, that was at least 3 months ago then, yeah. No, 2 months ago. So I know for sure I did roll for you. That was like a few months ago as well. So yeah, holy shit. So like from Canteria? At least 5 months or something. From the production start. The
limited
production.
time events. Given
Wow.
that gacha games
I
put a
think he
big
just like
emphasis
going
on
to
world
take some
building, considering that it's trying to sell its characters
some
to you.
what do you call it? Take some screen grab of the game.
A lot of the
So
story
use like 2
content
months ago.
introduced in events can contribute to
At
that.
least till
What makes
I think
absolutely
Contagious
no
so long
sense to
so,
me
so
is
long
making
before as well.
said story content only
Oh, holy
viewable
shit.
during their event period. Especially when the story can expand on the game's lore or explain an important subplot. It's like gatekeeping players from enjoying the full extent of the world building. Seems rather counterintuitive. FOMO elements greatly impact
No
my
way,
enjoyment of the
right?
game.
This has to be replayed. This has to be like a reused footage. No way, this is a newly recorded one. If it is, this might actually be like last year footage.
And I tend to rate highly of games that don't have as many
It
tactics
might
related
be
to
last
it.
footage online.
For example, one of my
They
favorite
can
games
play,
I'm playing
look way
right
too
now is
familiar.
Reverse 1999. The majority of the newly released characters will become part of the standard pool after 3 patches.
Where's
And with
Uma now?
older-
Yeah, it's legit Uma. Every existed catchers will just go to standard after the red up gone.
events get
So we just
archived, and you can
fuck
just view it at any time. Of course, this is not the only gacha game that does this, and I do appreciate it when there's pushback against this kind of practice. As you can see, creating artificial scarcity can be extremely beneficial to retention and monetization.
Holy
FOMO is
booba.
unfortunately one of the things that the developer has full control over. They get to choose
True.
what and when players get to access certain content. And that's
True.
why it's one of my most disliked predatory practices. Now, aside
Is that fucking incest?
Aside from FOMO, there's one more topic I want to talk about. Something
I think
so
they
insidious
fucking
that it
what?
overshadows every other subject on this list. One more trick to ensnare you into keeping you playing and spending money on the game. One tactic that's much more covert
How
and
bad
impactful,
can it be,
as it
boys?
permeates every aspect
How
of your
bad can
element
it
of playing a
be?
game. Surprisingly enough, the game company is typically not the one that reinforces this. I'm talking about tribalism.
The fuck do you mean? The community, the toxic, wait, Twitter?
When you play a game for a very long time, you become accustomed to it. It becomes part of your personality. In a way, it becomes an integral portion to your life that you would defend at all costs.
Sure.
You can't imagine living your life without doing
no,
your
that's
duties
another
or
sure.
interacting with the community. And when there's outside forces disturbing that peace,
The
it makes you
GTA
just
6
want to
but anime.
lash out, put the opposition in their place, and go back to the safety of your sanctuary that is your game. One of the biggest challenges I face when I review gacha games is coming up with actual valid critiques.
It is Twitter.
The problem with critiquing a game, especially one that's well known and has a long
Xbox
following behind it, is that even when you're saying things that has validity to it,
like time is like a full circle now. We have console war, then gacha war, and then whatever they are, and then we back to console war. Like time is a flat circle. It just go back all the way. It's like you can never kill the idea. You know, it all existed in different form. In this form, it's gacha game.
A vocal crowd that will deny everything negative you say. It doesn't matter that you're right. It's that they don't want you to be right.
True.
Let's say you've played a single gacha game for years already.
That's why it's never good to defend anything, by the way.
A thought that might come up is,
but like it's never good to defend like a game.
To critique my game. There's the age-old argument
like you should never take it like seriously.
That you need to spend 100
it's like,
hours
okay, it's
on
like
a game
fun.
before
It's like fun to argue online, you know. It's sometimes fun to rage bit or joy bit people, but like if you actually like getting mad over a gacha game, then yeah, you might be wrong. Like I think you actually need to take a break.
Opinion is considered valid. And you can imagine with the sheer number of competition in the gacha market right now, all with their dedicated and loyal fans, we can imagine something similar taking place. This happens more often with older gachas as they have built up a more dedicated and loyal fan base that's more or less made the game part of their personality. Gacha tribalism is alive and real. This is my genuine advice.
Fair, this on Twitter now. It is Twitter reincarnation.
It's purely transactional. You can enjoy the game. You can spend money on it. You can buy their merch. You can go to their live events. Look, I got Snowbreak merch sitting on my desk.
Okay, I am not going to flex my merch, but you know, I'm not flexing,
I don't have a problem when people enjoy a game as a hobby. The issue arises if you see the game or the company as anything more than that. Then I find that extremely problematic. Online personalities can exacerbate this mindset even further. When a game or community gets big enough, online moderators and content creators have a vested interest in keeping their status of authority. You may notice that once in a while, a post or two that criticizes the game goes missing or gets censored. Or how certain content creators and influencers tend to
Gacha Y influencer, Gacha X news update is a disaster. Is this... What's the guy name? Mugen? The guy that did the video buffing, the thumbnail looked like that guy. Hold on, what?
Consistently push a certain narrative really hard. Gacha X's devs really
nah, man, Gacha X always pick. You might be true, actually. Yeah, chat. Should I go play Gacha X? I heard it's a pretty good game. Like the community is pretty chill. The dev listen and stuff, and like almost no pay to win as well, right? Like no power creep at all. Yeah, I think chat. I think. Yeah, tomorrow I might do a stream playing Gacha X.
Gacha X is way better than Gacha Y. You become...
Ooh, Gacha... Chat, what do you think about Gacha Y? I think Gacha Y, there's a bit of a lot of like controversy, let's say, regarding the VA exploration being like pay to win log, and there's like nothing going on in the game as well. No end game is alright. It's like what? Yuri bed and stuff. Yeah, like a lot of gooding as well. So yeah, much better than a Suiko Gacha W. Hot tech? Oh no, that's hot tech. Better than Gacha W. Hot tech. That's a hot tech. No lie.
So sensitive to criticism that it's like if someone online made a simple comment. I think Gacha Y is really good. Your immediate reaction is, oh, so you hate Gacha X?
This is like the fucking the pancake waffle argument. What was it? I like waffle. So you mean you hit pancakes? You resist shit or something? The fucking pancake waffle is so good. Oh my fucking god. Oh, are you taking streaming tips from YouTube? No, but you know what? But you know what I take? I take money. Donate. Gacha why should have coins of Gacha X killer? That is very true. That's very true. Yeah, that is like the biggest downfall being called Gacha X killer. What am I talking about again? Yeah, the fucking pancake waffle, man.
Covering drama and rage bait content is extremely easy.
Dude, it's just like the fucking Superman something, like a hashtag super shit. It's so fucking good.
And it often leads to a lot of views. I know this, and even this video is somewhat framed as so. However, when your exposure to the gacha space is nothing but drumming up reasons to be outraged, you have to understand how it affects you psychologically. If you really look deep and boil everything down, let's see which parties inducing gacha tribalism really benefits.
Ooh.
The development company, moderators, and content creators.
That is true.
The players.
That's true. The game community get more what they can like look like they can show the investor the numbers. The online moderators that they get more power, and the CC they get more money. Holy shit, this is good.
Online moderators will keep critiques of their game to a controlled amount to maintain their
1984
image. Content creators keep pushing their one-sided narrative as it drives easy views with rage bait and drama content. The company has no reason to interfere as it doesn't conflict with their interests.
That's true.
What better way to shield yourself from criticism than your own fans? What better way to feed into the echo chamber of toxic positivity than to keep unsuspecting fans in a constant state of hate and vitriol? To get easy views and reinforce blind loyalty towards them and the game. As a player feeding into this tribalistic behavior, your emotional vulnerabilities are being exploited for their personal gain. The only losing side here is you. I imagine the
that's why you stop playing gacha games, and instead of using your money for the game, you using money for my channel. Think about it. Instead of if you use your money for a gacha game, right, you're never gonna get your value back. But if you do it for my channel, I can buy better equipment and stuff, and therefore, better quality. Just saying.
Majority of gacha players are rational and mature.
When you stop playing the game,
there are many online personalities that are more neutral and more accepting of
might be like
ideas.
6 or 7
I don't think any
months
game
later.
is perfect. Even
Or
the
might
best of the best
6 or
can
7
have
days.
critiques you can point out, and even the worst can possibly have redeeming qualities. Of course, I'm fairly certain that I myself may have contributed to some tribalistic sentiments. Believe me, I know I'm not immune to this. As a game company, goodwill is a currency. It's gained when you do good things and spent when you do bad things. You can support and spend money on the game because you like how you're being treated. However, never forget that you are the customer. The moment you start defending the game from all forms of criticism,
me when I hold on, let me get a picture on. Let me get a picture. What's it? Forget it. Correction pics. Where is that one picture? Where is it? Where is the thing? I lost it. I found it. Chat me when I say leave alone the multi-millionaire dollar company. True. What's the thing? There we go.
Is the moment you lost, and that is why I believe tribalism
what game do I play?
is the
I play
worst
Gacha X.
that came out of gacha gaming, and the most damaging trap you can fall into. You are quite literally stopping the
Gacha game on the way to Gacha game on the way to head on any possible competition for the game, so the multi-media company has no reason to improve. It reminds me of a gacha game where there's no end games, and the only thing that you can do is just go pick up mid.
Developers from making changes that could improve the game and allowing to exploit you even further. When you take a step back and really examine the gacha market, I think there's a reason why this genre of games will always have a degree of stigma that will never go away. A lot of the methods used to try to retain and monetize users are implicit and invisible. When you've been playing a number of gacha games, a lot of these
tactics Minecraft and Repo most time
seen as an everyday occurrence. It might be a weird experience when a game doesn't have a stamina system or a gacha system. Regardless, everyone plays games to have fun.
What is this? Hold on.
Doesn't have a stamina system or
Beyond the Limit. All characters will have feature unlocked. Oh, is that the new game? Yeah, it's a new game. Yeah.
A gacha system. Regardless, everyone plays games to have fun. And while there's a lot of ways that developers can try and sneak
why should I play a game where I am feeling angry every day?
as well.
Very true.
I want to believe that the practices mentioned in this video won't take away from what could have been the most ideal experience. And the best gacha games by my standards are the ones that take away the least. If you're a well-taught person, you'll probably be able to calculate the max pity total of the gacha currency as the real price tag of gacha characters. You understand that buying expensive skins doesn't affect your social standings or make you superior to other players. How the in-game characters are there as emotional objects for you to feel affectionate to. How this whole gacha tribalism argument is nothing more than a smokescreen to make you feel loyal to your own game and feel outraged towards others. What gacha games ultimately prey on are your emotional and mental needs. They create a fantasy, a world where you can fill the shoes of someone strong.
You should have to take a try of it. I don't think it's out though. It's only
nothing wrong with indulging.
Okay, Lupa, that was Lupa banner. Yes, solid 3 months ago.
In such fantasies. However, just understand that gaming is
I saw some of the trailer though.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this discussion video that dives into the more hidden side of gacha games. I think studying the inner working of how these games affect human psychology is so interesting. Let me know if you know working of how these games.
Axia and who's that?
Video that dives into the more hidden side of gacha games. I think studying the inner working of how
there is Axia and Asia.
Human
questionable way to roll on, but okay.
Psychology.
I don't think that's highest value though.
Is so interesting.
Axia.
Let me know if you know of any other hidden tactics that I didn't mention, and if you want to stick around for more gacha reviews and analysis content, you know what to do. And for those that wish to go the extra mile, you can support me for as little as $2 a month on Patreon. Thank you for tuning in.
Is it fucking good shape on the fucking in summer? What's this? TikTok get some question. One hit for FUT place. That's pretty bad though, right? Yeah, that's only good for front runner. Oh, that's a pretty bad influence.
Be sure to spend moderately and always remember, have fun out there.
I have a custom PC. Cool, but cool. Yeah, that's for your reaction ID. That took us like 1 hour or something. Yeah. I mean it's fine, it's good of all. Good wake up call, you know, from instead of like what was it, like a good wake up call to any gacha deck out there. But yeah. The Lion bases his entire agenda on a gacha game depending on how lucky he is with the pulls through. I think Genshin is bad because I never got a dupe 50 before. A dupe 5-star. True. And I always what lost a 50 and hit max pity. This is my famous quote, my choice better than your trust is enough to sum up the gacha tribalism. True. Also plus the pancakes waffle situation. What is this? The scariest part of gacha is developing an emotional attachment to them. There's nothing wrong with loving a game, but it would never leave you back. The same can be applied to communities. True. Alright, overall, good enough video, right? I think it took this guy like few months to do it. Since I know it is what Canteria and Lupa as well, so it's pretty long. The service pretty long, so you know, might as well go like subscribe to the guy, right? Yeah, cool, awesome.